Welcome to Better Builds Nation, where the goal here is to inspire you to create better builds so you may elevate your gameplay and rise above the competition. In today's video, I have compiled a list of YCS New Jersey's top 16 deck profiles. I was able to find the deck list for 14 of them, however I was unable to find the remaining 2. One of which was played by Matthew, who got top 16 playing Goki, and the other one was by Galileo, who got top 16 as well, but played Trickstar Sky Striker. This compilation will start off with the decks with the fewest amount of tops and progress on to the decks with the most tops. The first deck on this list is Calvin's ABC deck, in which he got top 16. His build utilizes 11 hand traps, including 3 Cyframe Gear Gamma to counter other hand trap heavy decks, and 2 Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries to counter the meta. His build also incorporates some Sky Striker support. Next is Anthony's Pure Trickstar deck, in which he got top 16. His build main decks 16 hand traps, including 3 Infinite Impermanents. His deck also utilizes the Nightmare Link monsters. On to the next deck is Goki's, which took 4 out of the top 16 spots, 3 of which I have the deck list for. The first one is Alex's version, in which he got top 16. His deck contains 41 cards in the main deck, 10 of which are hand traps. His deck utilizes many cards to turbo out 2 warrior type monsters, such as Junk Forward, Butter Spy, Instant Fusion, as well as the Hornet drones from Sky Strikers. Next up, Jonathan got top 8 with his version of the Goki deck, which is fairly similar to the previous one. However, he does not utilize Butter Spy or Instant Fusion as a way to turbo out 2 warriors. Although he does incorporate the Sky Strikers Engage to search out the Hornet drones. He also incorporates 2 techs that neither of the other players on this list are using, which were the Noble Arms Equip card to destroy set cards and the World Legacy Succession to get a free Monster Reborn when facing Sky Strikers. The final version of Goki's was played by Hani, who got top 8 as well. His deck used many of the cards the previous 2 players used, but he did manage to incorporate 3 Infinite Impermanents into his version that neither of the other 2 players used. He also used Overdone Burial as his second equip. On to the next deck, which is Pure Sky Strikers. This deck did very well in the tournament, taking 3 out of the top 8 spots. The first one is Tito's version, which incorporates Cyframe Gear Gamma and Darkest Diabolos into the deck, as well as a Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries to combat against the meta. In Raymond's version, he chose to use the Ghost Bell along with his other hand traps. He also decided to use Clara and Rushka, which is a pretty good tech to clear the main monster zone so he can activate his spell cards. And the final version of Pure Sky Strikers was created by Manav and got second place at the event. He ran 41 cards in the main deck with a 2-2-2 ratio to his hand traps with Ash Blossom, Ghost Ogre, and Ghost Reaper. He also main decked Shared Ride, which was one of the more popular side deck options for this format. And the last deck with the most tops was the Trickstar Sky Strikers, which ended up taking 6 out of the top 16 spots, and actually ended up winning the event as well. Now, Timothy got top 16 with his version of the deck, and most of these decks are going to be fairly similar. However, Timothy did main deck Shared Ride. As previously stated, it is one of the more popular side decking options of this format. Another version of the deck was Musasim, who also got top 16 in the event, and some of the cards he used in his version to set himself apart from other Trickstar Sky Strikers players was using cards such as Heavy Storm Duster, Anti-Spell Fragrance, and even Solemn Strike. Next up is Max, who got top 16 with his version of the deck, and one of his significant differences between the rest of the decks is that he main decked Ghost Ogre. Now on to the next deck, which is created by Mike, who got top 4 with his version of the deck, and the main differences that he had is he used Regeki, Monster Reborn, as well as main decking Called by the Grave. The following deck was created by Calvin, and it is a fairly standard deck that doesn't really have anything out of the ordinary going on, but nonetheless, he still got top 4. And finally, the winner of the event was Dakota, who main decked Ghost Bell and only ran 2 reincarnations instead of the 3 like everybody else, who was in the top 16, and also used 3 Pot of Desires. But anyways guys, that is my list. Tell me if there's anything I missed and what you'd like to see next in the comments down below. If at any point in time you enjoyed this creation, then give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to join the nation.